beautiful friends, it's Amanda here and it's time for another ColourPop launch. This time it's not a palette, it is a line of skin products called Pretty Fresh. I am so excited for this launch because they are coming out with a tinted moisturizer, something that I have been hoping for so long, with something with a lighter coverage and a non-matte finish. Their other skin base products haven't really worked well for me. There's been a lot of emphasis on higher coverage and more matte finishes, and a lot of people love that and that's great, but that does not work for me. I'm in my mid-30s, I have very dry skin, and anything with a matte finish, particularly if it has a whole ton of coverage, just doesn't really look great on my skin. So the fact that they're coming out with a tinted moisturizer as well as a primer and a setting mist that contain hyaluronic acid just really makes me so excited, so happy. I've actually been wearing this product for a while now. I've had it on in a couple of videos and I just haven't been able to mention it, obviously. Now we can finally talk about it. This is the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. It's coming to the ColourPop website on Thursday, September 26th. This is such a great deal because it has 1.45 fluid ounces and a standard foundation is typically just 1 fluid ounce. So there's quite a bit of product in here. I will say I do tend to use a lot each time I wear it, but we'll get to that in the demo portion. The hyaluronic acid primer has 1 fluid ounce of product. The hyaluronic acid setting mist, this one has 3.72 fluid ounces. All of these products are completely gluten-free, cruelty-free, and vegan. I know a lot of you guys only use vegan products, and this entire Pretty Fresh line is vegan. So yay for that. All 3 of these products contain hyaluronic acid, of course, it's in the name, and coconut water, which support hydration. I've heard some kind of buzz because this product was leaked early, unfortunately. A lot of people were concerned about the coconut in here. This is coconut water, not coconut oil. So coconut oil is what can clog pores and cause some people to break out. That is the oil. This does not contain the oil, it's the water. Okay, so we should be good. Unless you're allergic to coconut, then don't use this. There's also a sponge launching with this line. I know it's going to be offered in a bundle with the primer and the setting mist. I will say I really like this sponge. Mine's dirty because I used it for the demo. It has the same shape as the Real Technique sponge, but it has the same texture as a beauty blender, which is a little bit softer and more bouncy. So I love this sponge. This is weirdly one of my favorite things in the collection, but don't want to forget to mention this because the sponge is bomb. Let's focus in on the tinted moisturizer now. Clearly this has a sheer coverage. This is not meant to offer a whole lot of coverage, although I was surprised at how much coverage I did get out of this. I was expecting it to basically be nothing, and if I do 2 layers of this, then I get a pretty decent coverage. I am wearing it now. I will show you an application demo where I put it just on one side of my face first so that you can see just the tinted moisturizer versus my bare skin, but I think it looks pretty great. I did do a little, of course, under eye concealer and a little powder on top to set it. Since this is a tinted moisturizer, this does not dry down, so it's really great for my dry skin. It does need a little powder set on top just so that it can have some staying power throughout the day. This Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer comes in 24 shades. I was so excited to see such a great shade range. Typically when we see things like tinted moisturizers or BB or CC creams, we're gonna get maybe 5 or 6 shades if we're lucky. So I love that they really did a good shade range here. There's fair, light, medium, medium dark, dark, and deep dark. There are only 2 undertones, so each shade is named by its intensity, where it falls on that spectrum from 1 to 24, and then its undertone. There are only warm and neutral undertones here. I don't really know why there's no cool tones here, but I will say if you have a cool skin tone, go for the neutrals, and they should be forgiving enough to work with the undertone. Because these are quite sheer, they're really very forgiving shade-wise. So I'm sorry to my cool tone people out there. Personally, I do have a neutral undertone, but I think that the neutrals should be able to work for you. I hope they do. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the swatches of all 24 shades. I am gonna go through them by category. That way you can see all the fair, all the light, all the medium, etc. together. So let's take a look at those swatches now. Taking a look at the fair shades here, we have 1N, 2W, 3W, and 4N. I'm gonna leave my live swatches up on the screen for about 20-ish seconds each. That way you really have time to see them, but just feel free to pause if you need a closer look as well. Now let's move on to the light shades. 5N is the shade that I use. So we have 5N, 6W, 7W, and 8N. You'll notice that the neutral shades have more of a rosy undertone, where the warm shades are a little bit more of a yellow undertone. Now we're moving on to the medium shades. We have 9W, 10N, 11N, and 12W. We're right in the middle of the entire shade range right now. So the medium and the medium dark shades are the very center of the shade range here. Now for the medium dark shades, we have 13W, 14W, 15W, which looks very similar, and then 16N. Keep in mind, these swatches are concentrated, so they're not blended out. That way you can really see the color. But these are going to be a little bit more forgiving because they are quite sheer. Now for the dark shades, we have 17N, 18W, 19N, and 20N. Lots of neutral shades in the dark portion of the shade range here. And lastly, for the deep dark shades, we have 21W, 22N, 23N, and 24N, which is our deepest shade at this point in this shade range. Who knows, maybe someday they'll expand if this is a hit, but for now, these are our 24 shades. All right, now that you've seen all the swatches, I want to show you my application demo here just so you can see me using these products. I am going to show you a side-by-side on my face of my bare skin versus the Tinted Moisturizer just so that you can see what that coverage truly looks like. There's going to be some real close-up footage here. You're getting down and dirty with my wrinkles and my pores and everything. So let's have a look at the application demo and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. Starting off just with a control shot here. This is my completely bare skin, no primer, nothing like that. Just blemishes all out in the open. Cool, good times. I'm going to use some of the primer. I'm just showing you this really to show you how it comes out of the pump and all that good stuff. You're not really going to be able to see it. It's a moisturizing primer, but I did use it. I did put it on my face today, so why not show you? There it is. Next, I'm going to use the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. I am using the shade Light 5N, and I did want to show you how the pump works and everything like that too. So that's one pump of product. I'm going to put that all over one side of my face. That way you can get a real side-by-side how this looks on the skin, how much coverage one layer is going to give you. So I'm just applying that all over one side of my face. And here's what it looks like, one layer of the Tinted Moisturizer versus just my plain old bare skin. Not a ton of coverage, but we are seeing a little evening out here. Next, I did a second layer just so that you could see how this builds up. And you really do get quite a bit more coverage from a second layer, as you can see here. Now, this looks a little wonky because I didn't blend it in with the sponge yet. I'm going to wait until I even out my skin before I go over with that damp sponge. So let's go ahead and even this out. I'm just speeding through this because it's not really giving you too much information. So here I am adding 2 layers to the other side of my face, and then after hitting it all with a damp sponge, this is what my skin looks like with just the Tinted Moisturizer. No concealer, no other makeup yet. I am going to do some under eye concealer as well as my Salt New York cream blush, bronzer, and highlighter. And then I'm going to use my setting mist just so that you can see this in action too. This has such a beautifully fine mist, and I just tap right over after misting. Here is my finished face makeup. So just a light layer of concealer, some cream, bronzer, blush, and highlighter. That's it. This is a really fresh, like bare skin look. I also want to show you side by side my bare skin versus my finished makeup. That way you can see how much coverage I was able to get. You can still see that little blemish peeking through. Oh well. No surprise here. I absolutely love these products. As somebody who does prefer a lighter coverage, a more hydrating type of product, this is just really checking all the boxes for me. I love the really subtle coconut scent. I love the way that this looks and feels on my skin. I love that it has skincare infused into the product. I love that it's affordable. I love the shade range. There's just nothing for me to complain about here. I really love the packaging on this. The really lightweight, like frosty looking squeezy tube, but it has the pump. I will say that this packaging, because it has that frosted look, it can be a little deceiving. So definitely look for the swatches and not what the outer packaging looks like. Overall, this product is just great. I really like to wear this with a little bit of powder foundation on top to add a little bit of extra coverage. If you have dry skin, if you have like older skin, aka you're not 18, then this is gonna be a really just comfy, forgiving, like healthy looking product. However, I think this is great for younger people too, particularly for like teenagers who want to get into wearing makeup, want to get interested in skincare and beauty and things like that, but they don't really necessarily want or need like a full beat, like super matte full coverage foundation. Not that I'm hating on that, but I do think this is something that's great for like younger people, teens, tweens. So basically this is great for everyone. The only people I would not recommend this to are people with really oily skin. This is super dewy, super hydrating, and if you're really oily, then you're probably not gonna love this. But if you have even like combo, normal, definitely dry skin, this stuff is amazing. I also want to mention that the setting mist, the like sprayer, the mist that comes out of this is the finest mist that I've ever seen on any setting spray. It's literally the most like perfectly dispersed, super fine mist that I have ever used in my life. And look, I love a hydrating mist, okay? I've used a lot. So I'm really, really happy with this. Surprisingly, I was shocked by how awesome the sprayer is, so this gets a big thumbs up from me as well. I already told you I love the sponge. The primer is just kind of neither here nor there for me. I don't really see the point in using a moisturizing primer and then using a tinted moisturizer. This just feels a little redundant to me. So this is the one product from the line that I can kind of live without. It's not bad at all. It just doesn't really do anything for me. That's it. That is everything about this new Pretty Fresh launch. So excited for it. I always love to hear what you guys think about things too. So definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this launch. Is it what you hoped it would be? Are you more of a matte, full coverage kind of person? Let us know down in the comments so that we can discuss this new product together. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! The struggle is so real. 3.72. The most random number. Great, thank you. I guess it's not that random. 110 milliliters. The hyaluronic setting. So it begins. The hyaluronic acid. Dang it. Cruelty free. When you're trying to say gluten free and cruelty free at the same time, it comes out as cruelty free. That reminds me of Mean Girls when she says gruel. Okay, so that's really excited, obviously. We'll show you staying powder throughout the day. Staying powder. Whew, okay. What do you get? Ma'am, can you calm down? I'll take that as a Pretty fresh. So fresh. French. So French and so clean. Ooh, just in time. My camera's starting to overheat. Probably gonna run out of battery too, because of who I am as a person. Okay, rant over. I should probably take this part out. Don't know about you guys, but I enjoy being paid for my work. That's like when people say they want tutorials. Nobody watched tutorials, but no, it's not. Should probably take this part out of the video. If you just get a weirdly cut to this part, I just ranted on camera and then decided to take it out. Okay, have a great day. All right, bye.